Mr. Miguna was recently scheduled for a sit-down interview at Spice FM, and he honored the invite by showing up. However, just 1 minute before the interview started, he was given an indemnity form to sign. Now, an indemnity agreement is a legally binding document between two parties, the indemnifier and the indemnified. And it states that the indemnifier will not bear any liabilities. Now, in this video, I want us to look at why Miguna was being lured to sign an indemnity form 1 minute before the beginning of his interview at Spice FM. But before we do that, I would like to read you clause number 2 all the way to clause number 6 of that contract, because the contents of that contract are just ridiculous. Even you won't believe it. On the top, you can see it reads Standard Group, and then it's labeled Guest Indemnity Form. Now, clause number 2, the statements made by myself during the interview are my own statements and do not in any way represent nor reflect the views, opinion, nor position of the company on the topic or issue under discussion in the interview. Clause number 3, I have granted the company all rights in perpetuity without limitation to copy and image rights for material created from my interview. This shall extend to the use and publication of the interview material across the company's media and online platforms. Clause number 4, I waive the right to inspect, examine, and approve the content extracted from the interview to be used by the company across its media and online platforms. You see that right there? You waive the rights to inspect, examine, or approve. So they do what they want, they post what they want. Clause number 5, I hereby release, discharge, and agree to fully indemnify the company, its legal representatives, and assigns from all claims, causes of action, and liability of any kind, now known or unknown, in law or in equity arising out of the interview, including, without limitation, to claims of defamation, invasion of privacy, violation of one's personal and or sensitive data. Who would even sign this? Clause number 6, which is the final one. I further understand that failure to sign this indemnity does not discharge me from my obligations or duties under the agreement, particularly that I shall fully indemnify the company, its legal representatives, and assigns from all claims arising from the interview. Now, what on earth could be the reason for Spice FM handing Miguna a flimsy indemnity agreement when they know full well that he is a lawyer who is literate? So I've done my research and I've come up with quite a number of reasons. But before we get into that, if you're here for the first time, please go on and hit the subscribe button. It's one way of supporting the platform. And if you're watching from a different platform, just head on over to YouTube, search for David Wafula, hit the subscribe button, and you're going to be getting a ton of content of this nature. If politics is something you're passionate about, this is definitely the one channel that you really need to subscribe to. So reason number 1 for me is that Spice FM did not want to interview Miguna. And they knew the moment he read the ridiculous document, he would walk out of the interview. It's the same way in Swahili they say, akufukuzaye hakuambi toka. For those who don't understand Swahili, this means that if someone wants you to leave even a relationship, they don't say it with their mouth. They say it with small but evident actions that allow you to connect the dots and to take the hinted course of action, so you yourself will leave. So I suspect they might not have wanted to interview Miguna. Now I'm sure you are wondering at this day and time, who would not want to interview Miguna? The man is very good for ratings, that I agree with. But here's the question, who is the owner of Spice FM? Spice FM is owned by Standard Media Group, SMG. And who is the owner of Standard Media Group? Standard Media Group is owned by none other than the Moi family. And the Moi family will not allow a Kenya Kwanza affiliate to go tarnish Azimio on their airwaves. Gideon Moi or somebody from above definitely made that call. Now, the second reason behind the ill-timed indemnity agreement was to allow them to misquote Miguna on their airwaves by posting segments of the interview rather than the entirety, which will then put everything into context. And they're doing this all while protecting themselves from a Miguna lawsuit. Also, if Miguna goes off the rails and attacks someone verbally during the interview, and that fellow goes on to sue Spice FM, the lawsuit won't go anywhere. It is only Miguna who will take full liability because he has been indemnified. Though for me, I'll stick to my guns. Personally, I feel that the show host or hosts really wanted to interview Miguna. It's good for their career, it's good for their ratings. But someone from up above the corporate ladder wasn't too happy about this, and they called in to express the same. But that's just my opinion, guys. I'd really love to hear what you have to say about this 11th hour indemnity agreement between Spice FM and Miguna. Do you think there was some malice behind it, or do you think it was all goodwill? Please drop me your comment in the comment section below. I'll do my best to read it and to give you a response. Now, in the event you're here for the first time, please go on and hit the subscribe button. It's a very nice way to support this platform. And also, if you're watching from a different platform, because I do post in a number of places, and also there are people who will download and repost, which I have no problem with. So if you're watching from a different platform, just head on over to YouTube, search for David Wafula. I'll be the first one to pop up. Hit the subscribe button and you're going to be getting a ton of content of this nature. If politics is something you're passionate about, this is definitely the one channel that you really need to subscribe to. Alright guys, adios. See you in the next video.